with the glass door. Right there.
Hi, this is Janice Temple with World Black History on Periscope. Good morning. Hi, welcome. So I'm in Washington, D.C. at the Howard Theater, and today they're celebrating the life and legacy of Dick Gregory, Richard Claxton Gregory. And there's going to be a stage with people participating. Good morning. Thanks for sharing, Fathead. How are you doing? So yes, please share this out. And they have his casket here. I'm going to show you that in a minute. So let me turn this around. So good morning. How are you doing? I'm so happy you're here, Fathead. Thank you so much for supporting, for sharing and supporting. So for those of you who don't know Dick Gregory, he was a civil rights activist, a comedian, and he made, you're doing well. Awesome. I'm so glad you're here, Fathead. So he was a comedian, and he would make jokes about, American society, the racism. That's what he did. And so in front is the flower car, and then this is the hearse that is carrying his basket, and then this will be for the family, which is behind. And so this across the street. My voice got lower. Oh, let me see. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it does that. Thanks for letting me know. I'll put my headset in. Can you hear the music and the people talking? Fathead, can you hear the music and the people talking? So on stage, I don't know if you got a chance to, okay. Well, let me plug in real quick. Okay. Now I'm doing some shot of camera work here. Okay, can you hear me better? How's the volume now? Okay, so my name is Janice Temple, and I am with World Black History on Periscope. We are at the Parade of Life for Dick Gregory. He was a civil rights activist and a comedian. So much more. He mentored a lot of people. He was a nutritionist. He wrote numerous books. He just recently passed last month. Oh, fantastic. I'm glad to hear that. He passed last month at age 85 years old. His family is originally from Plymouth, Massachusetts. He was an alpha in the fraternity. He impacted many people's lives. So yesterday, this is his hearse. Yesterday they had a celebration of his life at a church in Landover. And it was just amazing. You can watch it. I think Roland Martin, he live streamed it on TV One, so you can look on Periscope for that. There are lots and lots of broadcasts. So this is for Dick Gregory, and then that's the flower car. Thanks for sharing. So we are in front of the Howard Theater. This is the Howard Theater. And Dick Gregory, as a comedian, would have performed here. So the Howard Theater has very famous shows coming. These are some of the artists that are coming to perform. But he would have performed here. That's the historical significance with Howard Theater, the tie-in for it. And so there are lots of camera crews out. And even some across the street. So this is like a open public coverage of his parade of life. He was a public figure. And yeah, he would have welcomed everyone. So you're going to see probably a lot more people come out, a lot more people streaming. Thanks for inviting Rock the Queen. Thank you. Thanks for sharing and inviting. Thanks for joining. So appreciate you. And it looks like people are selling Dick Gregory t-shirts over here as well. It is a beautiful celebration. We are the Love Tribe. Yes, we are. So they're selling Dick Gregory t-shirts. Even the police officer is journaling this. Everybody's got cameras. So I guess family members are coming out. Oh, that's his brother.
Very good, very good.
Oh, excuse me. Did anybody really hear what Baba is saying?
All right, so I'll do it.
Christian.
Yes.
I'll update them and put them on a text.
Okay, that would be better to make it nice and big.
Okay, we're going to head across the street, I guess. The program. Okay, so teaching stay woke people. Yes. There's going to be a program from 10 to 11:30. So I'm not going to walk between. Church in the street. Yes, it is church in the street. You're absolutely right. Let's see if we can get over here. So now we're across the street where the stage is set up, and we're waiting for the program to begin. This is in Washington, D.C., near U Street. It says 620 T Street Northwest. You still have time to come down. This program is going to be outdoors from 10 to 11:30 a.m. 11:30 a.m. they're going to walk to Ben's Chili Bowl, which is approximately 4 blocks. They're going to have a procession to Ben's Chili Bowl. So come down if you're in the area, if you're in the District of Columbia, Maryland, or Virginia.
I'm a soldier, I have to go, and will continue to be a soldier. And now I expect for you, your children, their children, their children. Thank you, African brother.
Hi, how are you? I'm Janice Temple.
I'm Mukasa.
And so share a little bit about, oh, you have your card. Thank you. Dada Black Power. Okay. So you're from Atlanta. All right. And did you know Dick Gregory personally?
I know Dick Gregory for the last 60 years. I was in an organization called SNCC, SNCC, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee.
Oh, hang on one second. Can you guys hear him? Let me know, Fathead.
Was Willie Ricks of SNCC. I changed it to Mukasa Dada, Pan-Africanist. I believe in the liberation and the unification of Africa. And I knew Dick Gregory from the 60s, maybe 61, 62. He and his wife was in the South demonstrating, protesting. I was in many marches and many battles with Dick Gregory in the early 60s and up until now.
Okay, fantastic. And so, were you at the service yesterday?
Yes,
Okay.
I was at the service, but I was there to say that our struggle, we love Dick Gregory, but we have to continue. We're in a state of war, and it's all over the world. Dick Gregory recognized that. He supported the Congo and the crimes that the United States committed against the people in the Congo. He supported Palestine and the crimes that the Zionist Jews commit against the Palestinians. He supported Robert Mugabe in Zimbabwe. He supported revolutionary movements all over the world, Fidel Castro and many others. So he supported all these movements all over the world. He know that the United States, like Dr. King say, is the greatest perpetrator of violence than all the nations of the world. And he recognized that the only way to stop imperialism, the only way to stop the United States government, Democrats and Republicans, from committing their worldwide crimes is revolution. So I'm a revolutionary. I believe in Pan-Africanism. I believe in the liberation of Africa, and I support all the revolutionaries in the world that's fighting to maintain their countries and to stop the imperialist powers of Europe and the United States.
Okay, all right.
Black power.
Thank you. Black power. All right.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
That's the newsman coat.
Okay, and so let's see. Assalamu alaikum to you too as well. Hi, can I interview you guys on Periscope? Mom, but not forgotten. Stay woke. Dr. Gregory, please introduce yourself.
I'm Zebra Harold.
Yes.
And Jules Harold.
And Jules Harold. And where are you guys from?
Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. Okay. And do you have any stories, or did you know Dick Gregory, or?
Oh, from way back when we were just children, we met so he was still doing some stand-up work, stand-up comedian work, but it sort of changed over way back in the very early 70s.
Yes.
And we followed him from there on. Our eating habits, everything was changed by this.
Okay. Did you attend the service yesterday?
We listened to it on PFW. We were not able to get out there.
Okay, I understand. It was phenomenal.
Yes, indeed it was. Oh, it was unbelievable.
And for those viewers who don't know about Dick Gregory, can you share a little bit about his life work, his legacy?
I think one thing people should do is look at a book called On the Real Side.
On the Real Side.
And it's a book about black comedy.
Okay.
And Dick Gregory is featured very prominently in that book. He talks about how once he came on the scene, he and Richard Pryor and some other gentlemen that sort of changed the shape of comedy and changed what black humor was. And I think that you can really get a good feel for his work there. And then, of course, as an activist, he's written all through the civil rights history.
Okay. Thank you so much. Hi, how are you all doing today? Good, and you? I'm Janice Temple, and you guys are live on Periscope. Would you like to share any reflections about Dick Gregory?
Well, I'm former four-term ANC Commissioner Keith Silver. I'm just here to pay homage and tribute to Brother Gregory. He's the honorable, the esteemed, but most importantly, the unbought Dick Gregory. He stood up for the people 24/7 every day for 6 decades plus. He's my man. Thank you.
You're welcome. And you, sir?
I'm Lawrence Harris, and Dick Gregory definitely been an inspiration to me for many years.
Okay. All right. And for those people who don't know about Dick Gregory's life or legacy, can you share a little bit about what that means?
I mean, I think it's just a loss to a lot of young people at a loss to who he is. And I think it's because the parents of that generation all they talk about is Dr. King and Malcolm X, but not the soldiers, the one doing it day to day, every day. And that's what he was about, every day.
Every day?
Every day. He lived and walked that every day.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Hi, I'm Janice Temple. You're live on Periscope. Would you like to share anything about Dick Gregory and his life, his legacy?
Yes, I would. Dick Gregory comes from St. Louis, where I come from. He lives where he was from was about a half mile from my mother's house, where I grew up. Very humble beginnings. Dear beloved Baba, love him to death, love his works. He shared so much with us in the world, and he'll be greatly missed. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
I love your shirt. Black is beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes. That was an awakening for me when I learned that's where it came from, because growing up in the 60s, you know, I thought it came from America, but it's not.
Steve
Biko.
It's not.
Yes.
Black father of consciousness.
Yes, father of
They've asked me to call this to order, so if everyone would come on over to the plaza, please. We're going to get started. And try to keep it all on time.
So this is Janice Temple. We are at the celebrating life and legacy of Richard Claxton Gregory. And across the street, you can see that there is the limo for the family, the casket, and the flower car. We are at Howard Theater in Washington, D.C., 620 T Street Northwest. You guys are welcome to come down. We'll be here until 11:30 a.m. And there will be a procession.
Excuse me, that was my wife. And she's flying in from Los Angeles. So I gotta go. I can't even no, I'm just kidding. And everybody else, I guess, and you can all fill in. That's not everybody. Come on. Nobody's gonna bite anybody. Come on up here. Y'all get close. Y'all gonna, because you know what's gonna happen when look. How many marches have we had with Dick Gregory? And y'all know what's gonna happen when we kick off. Everybody gonna try to be up front. So y'all might as well get up now. Y'all know that's how that. Y'all gonna be jockeying for position. Right, Keith? They're going to be jockeying for position to get up front. And everybody wants to be up front. Come on, Faye. Come on, Faye. And I do want you, I want all y'all to understand that I just got recruited to do this. So everything is going to be extemporaneous. And so I appreciate it. But we're not going to have a very long program. But I do want to, and I didn't get a chance to read this letter while everybody's coming forward. Reverend Skinner, someone sent me, and you know, it's interesting, I do not know how I got this letter from Dick Gregory. And this was after he had passed away, and it just showed up
on the iPhone, and it was titled "The Real Dick Gregory," and it probably won't take me 2 minutes to read this letter that apparently came from Dick Gregory, and it starts this way. And understand when I say 85th Revolution, Faye and others will tell you that Dick always started his birthday, did he not, 9 months ahead of the actual birthday, because that's when you were conceived. And so the letter says, "Dear Joe, as I approach my 85th revolution around the sun this year, I wonder why has it been so difficult for humankind to be kind, so difficult to be loving and lovable. For my militant brothers and sisters, please don't misconstrue loving and lovable to be weak or submissive. Love will always be triumphant over hate. I know I will not be here forever, nor do I desire to be. I've seen progress like most cannot appreciate because they were not there to bear witness. I dedicated my life to the movement. By doing so, I never thought I'd still be here. So many of my friends are not here. They were cut down by a system of hatred and evil. If they were here, they'd see the progress that I've seen. The reality is far from perfect, but profoundly better than what daily reality was for my generation. Young folks, if you are wise, you would talk less and spend more time listening to the elders who saw evil up front and personal every day. Hashtag, how long? I've been asking this question for over 40 years. How long before we realize our universal God's given potential? We have made immeasurable progress that cannot be debated. That said, we still have a long way to go. I have no desire to see this all the way through. The dreams I've dreamed about 60 years ago have definitely been realized. To the young folks of all ethnicities, I say, stay woke. Not as a catchphrase, but as a lifestyle. Most of the things that are killing us are in our minds and our daily routines. The way we think, the food we eat, and the water we drink or so often don't drink. While so many of you go out and protest the small evils, the big evils, ever present and welcomed into our homes. From the top of my heart, I say, stay woke. Love you to life, Dick Gregory. Wow. I don't know if that's Dick or whoever wrote it, but it's truly in the Dick Gregory style. And it just tells me, however it got to my iPhone, had no name, I didn't know who it was. So I'll just assume in the true Dick Gregory lifestyle, it was Dick. And obviously reaching out. Let me welcome now, because I do want to make sure we're not here till 10 o'clock at night. Like last night. Oh, where's Johanse? Let me bring up the main man, Johanse. Let's welcome Johanse. Big time.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
This is the last time Dick Gregory is going to be here in front of the Howard Theater, the legendary Howard Theater. So we're going to do this right. It's an honor to be here today as a representative of the Gregory family to extend my thanks and sincere gratitude. My father lived 84 years. Unlike so many of his peers, he had the opportunity to do things that they never had. In addition to being on the front lines, he was able to be a father, a grandfather, a great-grandfather. And over the course of that time, for so many of these young folks here, people forget the totality of who Dick Gregory was. In 1961, he was the top performing comedian in the country. Wow. Not just the top black comedian, the top performing comedian in the country. 1963, he had the top selling comedy album. Now, I don't say that just to brag about my father. That directly relates to you here. Why? How? I was speaking to a comedian who was a young brother when my father met him in college, Terry Hodges, some of you may know him. And he was reminding me that when my father joined the likes of Dr. King and Malcolm and Medgar Evers, he was there as the star celebrity attraction. He was more popular than they were in the time. It's just if there's a Black Lives Matter march and they ask Jay-Z to come to bring the crowds. See, he's so far past the comedy piece that some of us forgot. And I mention that again, not to brag about my father, but to say that even being at the top, even with all of the millions he made, he did not lose it. He willingly chose to give it up. And he gave it up because of all of us here. He gave up what most people would kill for to be for, about, and with the people. So forget all of the titles and celebrity and this, that, whatever. What you see here, this is what Dick Gregory was about. Yeah. We're here on U Street because so many of you would regularly see my father walking down here. Not being escorted, not being driven, but walking down, taking the time to speak to any and everyone, because he always reminded us that at the end of the day, it was the people who made him. I mentioned this last night at his funeral service. When we wanted to honor our father, and there was all kinds of ways in which we could have done it. When we wanted to honor our father, we knew it would be a disservice to everything he was about. And I say this because, trust me, I've seen it. I've seen people live one life, and after they're gone, folks try to create them as something that they weren't. It would have been a disservice to honor our father in death in a way that wasn't consistent with the principles that held him up in life. And so we reached out and invited those who were near and dear to him. Some the whole world knows, Stevie Wonder and the likes. And some only the Gregory family knew. But it is important that we make sure that you all know that the love, caring, support, and condolences that we continue to receive do not fall on deaf ears, do not fall on blind eyes. Every day, I'm not a social media person, and for those who are, I say God bless you, because that's a job in and of itself, keeping up with it. But every day, my brothers, my sisters are posting entire messages on our group family chat of the expressions that you all are sending. every one of those messages is read. Every one of those phone call voicemails is listened to. Please know the love and caring and support that you have been sending our family, the prayers, they have been heard, read, and received. My only request is that even though this is Dick Gregory's last stroll down U Street and the historic and iconic theaters that he performed at, starting with the Howard and ending with the Lincoln, that we not let this be Dick Gregory's last stroll down U Street. Can't say it enough. My father preached, not running, and you know he was a world-class runner. Went to college on a track scholarship. My father preached not running the sprint, but running the relay. If all we do for the rest of our lives in tribute to Dick Gregory is visit the Dick Gregory Museum and go to the webpage and read the books and listen to the speeches and remember the albums and the comedy routines, we will have done my father a disservice. As I was mentioning last night, as the youngest of 10, I not only got my father and mother's wisdom, I got all my 9 older brothers and sisters' wisdom as well. They made it very easy for me. So I have to speak that truth that says, please know, to honor our father is to do the work that he was committed to. So Dick Gregory is far from dead. He lives on in the lives, minds, and hearts of all of us. So again, on behalf of the Gregory family, I say thank you, thank you, thank you, and God bless you.
Yes.
In the spirit of what my father stood for, I just want to give a little freedom medley. Is that all right?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree. It's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. Ain't gonna let nobody turn us around, turn us around, turn us around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn us around. We gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching down that freedom lane. The journey continues. Dick Gregory lives in you. Dick Gregory lives in me. Stand for something. Today, tomorrow, and always. I love you all.
Love you. Love you too.
So let's give the family and keep them all in our prayers. And that's just the children. Where are the nieces and nephews? Are they here? Raise your hand. Oh, there they are. There's Patty and Felix. All right. So because man, and somebody said that yesterday. It was at somebody said they all look alike. I mean, man, they had no ifs, ands, buts about it. But one of the things I do want to bring up now. The young man who made this plaza, and this is what it's really. You remember, this used to be just a parking lot, and he's turned it into. He's turning it into a plaza, and when it came time to do this last presentation, this last effort for Dick, he just volunteered and said, you know, let's do it here. And this is his plaza, his building, his mural. Please give just a big round of applause to thank and bring up Thomas Hart.
Yeah. Let's hear it for Joe Madison. Yeah. The message and the man. Joe, thanks so much for your service to DC on media and in the community for over 40 years now. I'm a Washingtonian myself. Welcome to the Cornerstone. This is where you're standing on right now. It was a parking lot. It had circumferences and perimeters with Jersey barriers just a few months ago. But thanks to Muriel Bowser and her administration, they gave me site control over this spot because I'm the adjacent property owner. So I want you to know that this is the People's Plaza, okay? This is the People's Plaza, okay? And I'm also honored to be a member of the board of the Howard Theater. And that's a historic landmark that is going through some transitions right now, but the best is yet to come at the Howard Theater. Please continue to support the historic Howard Theater. Dick Gregory performed in the Howard Theater probably over 20 times over his career. He was a spiritual man, he was a comedian, and he was an activist, a nutritionist, and a humanitarian. He stood with the Indians in Wounded Knee. He stood for statehood right here in DC. He's a global icon. And let's recognize his legacy and push on with it. I'm just here to just welcome you to this space and the Howard Theater and the Shaw community. And let's continue his message and his advocacy today, tomorrow, and forever. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you bear with me because I don't know how all this stuff works. My son won't talk to me on the phone. He says, text me. Except when he wants money. And then it's face to face. You know. Can't text money yet. God help us. And when you can start texting money, I'll never see my kids. But I should, someone suggested if it would be appropriate to mention that there's two things I'm going to mention. Dick's brother is here, and I was looking for him. He was around, but he was telling me, and he's absolutely right, when all this is over, we all may have to go to St. Louis, given what's going on in St. Louis with that police officer that was acquitted for killing that young man with his DNA all over the gun. And if Dick were around, you're absolutely right. Dick probably would have skipped his own funeral to go to St. Louis. So I'm just saying, let's keep our eyes on that. The next person is the founder and the man who conceived, and it's right over here. You have to visit it if you haven't. And that's the African American Civil War Museum. Former DC councilman, former Mississippi activist. Please welcome Dr. Frank Smith.
Okay, first of all, let me say good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
I want to thank Joe Madison and the Gregory family for introducing me here today. I thought somebody ought to say something about Dick on behalf of those people in the Mississippi Delta that he met in 1962 when he brought an airplane full of food and clothing down there to feed people who had been put off those plantations because they tried to register to vote.
Wow.
Now, I was there at the time, having left Morehouse College as a student, to go to Mississippi with a group of people in the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. I want to say that to the young people that are here from Howard University. I see Willie Ricks out there in the audience. And you all, I want to say something on behalf of those people because we couldn't get people to register to vote, and we couldn't get them to march to these meetings and courthouses if they were all going to get put out and starve to death. So people like Dick Gregory made it possible for us to organize, because this man was out there raising money, spending his own money, and bringing them down there so we could get these people to continue to follow us and continue to register to vote. So I think somebody ought to speak something about Dick Gregory on behalf of those people, because these movements can't make it if they don't have the support of other people who stand behind them. Black Lives Matter can't make it if the adults don't stand behind them and don't lift them up, and don't find ways to support them, and don't find ways to get them out of jail when they get locked up. There was people like Dick Gregory who did that. And so I wanted to say something on behalf of those people. I run the African American Civil War Museum here in D.C. Our exhibit is called Slavery to Freedom, Civil War to Civil Rights. We end with the Civil Rights Movement because that was the movement that actually brought us all to a new place here in the United States of America. And so I want to say thank you to the Gregory family. I'm sure that that money that he spent on those airplanes, and I have to say something to you all about this personally. I've been in Mississippi for about a year by the time I met Dick Gregory, and so it gets kind of lonely down there in those cotton fields down there trying to organize these people. And I went to the airport with a van of young people who went to get these groceries off this plane so we could distribute them. And I will never forget the image of Dick Gregory walking off that airplane, and you know, in traditional Dick Gregory style, he stood there after he walked up on top of the gangplank, and he stood there and waved his hands out like this at everybody, like it was a triumphant return of a prodigal son to a place where he was most needed. I've never seen anything like that before, and I'm reminded of that many times because that image is seared in my mind of a black man who had his own airplane, who flew in the Mississippi Delta to help support those people. So I want to say thank you to Dick, thank you to the family, and we will always remember him in that fight. Keep on marching, keep on protesting, keep on doing the things that we need to do to make America the great place that it can be. Thank you very much.
Yes.
One of Dick Gregory's dearest friends and all our friends, and she has this great organization, the National Congress of Black Women. See, Ife, come on up here. Ife Williams, everybody, tell me. Yes. Make sure I don't say National Council of Negro Women, and it's stuck in my mind, and I almost blew it. It's a black, and this was, I mean, this was one of Dick's closest friends. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Ife Williams.
Thank you, Joe. Good morning, my brothers and sisters. You know, the Shy Lights once made a song called Have You Seen Her? I know that since my friend Dick Gregory is not here with us today except in our hearts, we don't ever have to wonder, have you seen him? Because everybody knew Dick Gregory, and he will continue to be in our hearts and our minds. We can turn on the radio, we can turn on the television, we can open a book, we can open a newspaper, and we can just think about him. Look at YouTube, he is everywhere. So there is nothing that we have to cry about in terms of saying that he's gone, because he's not gone. We will hear from him many times. He even left us instructions on his last day, just last week, his new book, Defining Moments in America. You've got to read the book because it reviews so much of what he tried to tell us while he was alive. So we never have to ask, have you seen him? You know, he could relate to everything we were doing, and one of the things that was unfinished when he passed away, I had a chance to sit with him, the very last one in that room after he passed away, and I promised him that I was going to continue his legacy. I know that he has so many friends, and his shoes are so big that no one person can fill them, but I'm depending upon all of you that I have heard say, I loved him, he was my friend, I would do anything for him. We're going to be calling on you because we've got a lot of work to do. He would want us to do that. He would not want us to sit around and to weep. And he can relate to the poor people in the Gulf because he was there with so many of our friends. There were poor people who never got paid from that Gulf oil spill. We were talking about going back down to BP to get that done before the end of this year. And I promise you, with your help, we're going to get it done, because he could relate to poor people. You know the story he was told, and I'm going to close out with this. He said when he was growing up, he was so poor that if a rat ran across their house, he just knew he was taking a shortcut to somebody else's house, because they didn't have anything. My brothers and sisters, I love you. I'll be seeing you around. Dick Gregory shall live forever. Yes, yes.
I am reading this, but looks like we are going to have to end up in St. Louis. You'll see this on the news. But riot police trampled an elderly woman when activists poured into the streets. And they actually have video of her being trampled by the police with riot gear. And then they turned around and handcuffed her and took her off. You know, Dick is speaking to us. So this isn't just a protest to a march in one part, Dick Gregory, but keep these things in mind. Stay woke, stay active. Everybody, you are Dick Gregory. Remember that. You are Dick Gregory. You know, you are Dick Gregory. If everybody would turn their attention to the screen, 6-minute video that they're going to show right now, and then Christian Gregory is going to come up and close everything out. So, as they say, let's turn our attention to the screen.
We cannot depend on this system to tell us who we are. They're scared of us. Fears. And we don't know they're scared of us because we don't know who we are. We don't eat for nutrition, we eat for taste. See, the strongest two forces in the history of America is the black woman and the black church. They know who we are, they know our kindness, they know our genius.
Let me say thank you very much for this. We've done so much and never get a thank you for it. You know, I thank you.
See, I was in the military. I wasn't married, had no children. But had I been married, and had I had some children, and I'm on the front line, and that white captain say, "Take that hill, boy, do it." But I wouldn't do it for me. And my wife understood. I said, liberation's not in this house, it's out there. And so, and I've been blessed. I got 10 children and married to a woman that's never raised her voice to me and them children. And so the whole thing falls in when you're willing to submit to the universal order. I didn't know what you... John Wayne was my hero. Okay, we didn't have TV. John Wayne said, if you right and they wrong and they won't listen, kill them. That's what I believe. Hey, let's go. And then here comes a man. I said it's not about that. It's about love and being kind. Something inside of me said it had to be something better than this. University, let's go to Mississippi. Went to Mississippi. And I watched it, I looked at it, I'm with King. I didn't hear King say one thing when the cameras was on, and then a bunch of honkies when it was over. You know, you see that, you look at that, you know. I looked at Malcolm. I was with him there. Nobody get killed because that was a whole CIA job. So I came back and I lost about $2 million worth of dates. So I'm down the levels of King Holiday. That's before official. So Bert Lee is on the board. I'm sitting next to Bert. I said, Bert, I got to get a check of $20,000 somewhere. All my children come out of school tomorrow. I got no problem with that. So he, $30,000. No questions asked. No nothing, right? Bert's making that, right? So I'm sitting there, and then all it was, Jose Williams, one of the strong voices of the movement. He came in, blood all over him. He went up in Forsyth College where their white folks jumped on him and stomped him and beat him. And he came here just to let us know and said, I need to raise money because we're going back in 2 weeks. I signed the check and gave it to him. Okay? Gave it to him. Go, man. It's bigger than my children. This movement's bigger than my children. I might have to die. And I haven't. I've been always listed in the phone book. I ain't never had no bodyguard. And I never thought I'd see the day I could sit here and say to you, I'd rather be killed by someone than kill someone. That's what that movement, the effect that movement had on me. To see them young children out there, to see them old folks out there, to see the whole movement, and to see the Klan and them stand there, and see them black people just keep marching and keep marching. No fear. I didn't know nothing about that. I was born scared. They taught me about ghosts when I was a little boy. But it was that piece that changed it. Not no hostility, no crazies or nothing. There's some black folks you can mess with, and there's a handful you can't. I'm one of them handful.
Thank you. God bless you, and peace be with you. Thank you.
Way to go. Give them a round. Nice present. Great, please. I'm going to bring Christian Gregory. What's up? Huh? Oh, okay. We a couple of exchanges here, but we'll get Christian up, and then we have one more presentation. But I was sitting here thinking, because last night it was said over and over, Dick was a master teacher. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. And all his children, I believe, went to historically black universities and colleges, and Howard and all over the place. You know, I think there ought to be a course, and he'd love this. There ought to be a course on Dickology. You know, really, like Dickology 101. So any university folk out here, think of it, put it together. And I do also want you to know, we got all kinds of folk here, but I want to give special recognition to the Chappelle family. They're here. Can you guys raise your hand? The mom and brother and nieces and... Mom is powerful. Y'all may not know this. I interviewed her years ago. And this woman in Africa, and I'm not talking about a country, a continent, where she helped to develop a dam that in essence provided energy from Egypt to South Africa. That's the brilliance of the Chappelle family and where it started with the mother. It's a heck of a story. So now you see where the brother and the brothers get their genius from. And as Dick said, the two most powerful, again, Dickology 101, the two most powerful things on the planet is the black church and black women. And I just wanted to make sure that recognition. Killer Mike, come on up, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, Killer Mike.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Awesome.
Look, I know it's warm and I know half the crowd's like, oh, that's the guy from TV, and the other guy's like, who's the big guy up there? So I would just like to say that first and foremost, I'm the son of Denise and Michael. Denise's parents, Betty and Willie, raised me, and I am from a strong activist background, no matter what my job is. My job is rapping, so I sing and dance and curse for a living. Since we're with someone who did a similar thing and we're here to honor him, I'd just like to say, man, thank everyone for coming out. Athletes, entertainers, regular folks, church folks, sinners, like you all are human beings. You all are worthy of dignity and respect. And I would not have known that at the deepest cut that I know it, as much as I thought I knew, had I not had the opportunity to sit on the phone with T.I. and get cursed out by this guy 3 years ago. Like, I remember us asking him, so what can we do? And he was like, nigga, y'all can't do shit. I had been used to hearing that, because I got a few baby mamas as a kid. But T.I. is rich, so I was like, you don't tell a rich nigga he can't do shit, he gonna do it. But by the time we got off that conversation, I was so humbled because I realized that a lot of times as a young man, when you're allowed by the universe to have fame or have fortune or even have good luck, you tend to think you're special and it's all about you. And I know I personally, not speaking for any other entertainer, I personally thought, you know what, nigga, God just liked me. You know what I'm saying? I was meant to do this. And I use that to justify my suffering, and I use that to justify my ups and my downs. But the truth of it is, when you're given an opportunity, and an opportunity just means you wake up in the morning and you can breathe breath in and out and all of your limbs work and you have your same mind and body, you have an obligation, a moral obligation to recognize and validate the humanity in other human beings. That is beyond our car. That is beyond our house. That is beyond how much we owe on a tax debt. That is beyond any anger or feelings or emotions. And I learned that from an old man. I learned that sitting with him, and I'm tired at 5 in the morning at the Waffle House with my wife. And he said, hey, I'm talking to you. You looking at me? Huh? I mean, the first time we met, we spent so much time together, I thought I was related to him because he poured out freely with so much information, with so much knowledge. And I know the sensationalized stuff is the conspiratorial stuff and things of that nature, and the other stuff is, you're fat, right? You need to eat fruit for a month. But what I really learned about him is that he loved us. Oh, black people, he loved you. He loved you. He loved you, and he wanted to remind you every day that whatever put us here, whatever decided that the first people on earth should look and be black women, and whatever decided that man should spring from the womb of a woman and not woman from the rib of a man, whatever decided to make you beautiful and human, he wanted to remind you of every day. He wanted you to understand that your job is not bigger than your children. He wanted you to understand that the equal partner you have is right there in that home with you. And he wanted you to understand that no nationality and no government and no flag superseded the universal law of love and compassion and care and concern. This man, when he left us, a library burnt down. When he left us, a great center of education is gone. When he left us, a wife lost her husband and her children lost their parent, but we lost a conduit to the universal God when he left us. We left an agent for the universal God when he left us. We left someone that'll tell you after you've read all the books and after you know all the knowledge you know, I hope it affirms what you already knew in your heart. I hope it affirms, no matter what garbs you wear, that every person is regal and royal and deserving of love. And that's why I stumbled out of a club at 3 in the morning. I didn't drink, I smoked though, marijuana. After I overslept and I woke up in bed with my wife this morning, I said, you can stay, but I got to get in that Sprinter and I got to go. And my driver, who knows me, knew I had probably smoked too much marijuana. I called an hour and a half late and I said, Red. He said, Mike, I'm downstairs. And I got in that Sprinter, and my wife got in that Sprinter, and my best friend got in that Sprinter, and I'm here out of my moral obligation to continue what you did. I loved you, old man. Oh my God, I loved you. I remember every time you cursed me out. I remember when my wife said to you, you're going to stop saying bitch in front of me. And you said, you ain't a bitch, are you? And she said, no. He said, well, what you offended by? And she said, I push your old ass down. And you never said bitch the rest of the night. If we didn't say it enough while he was here, make sure you tell his children. Make sure you tell his wife. Thank you, and I love you, and I will spend the rest of my life making sure that the fights that he fought against capital punishment, for poor people, against racism, and for the greater humanity will continue to be fought from the stage and the podiums that athletes and entertainers stand on. I love you with all my heart. I loved you, old man, with all my heart. And Christian, thank you for letting me and giving me the opportunity to speak at your father's honor.
When he started talking about marijuana, the police said, what? It's medical marijuana. Medical marijuana. That's legal in Washington. That's it. Yeah, you can go now. We got you covered. We got, I thought, cause you got to be careful around here, man. Marijuana. They started circling in the back there, and so it's medical marijuana. He's all right. But clearly, Killer Mike has got a PhD in bigology. Christian, where are you? Please, this man, I know when this is all over, he and the rest of the family, they are going to, y'all got to let them rest. Will y'all quit texting him, quit emailing the family, and please let them rest for at least a couple of days. Until we all show up in St. Louis. All right?
Just one or two.
Yeah, all right. Everybody, please, Christian Gregory, and then we're going to get the instructions on get it going.
All right. Thank you, everybody. I truly appreciate everyone coming out this morning. You met my siblings earlier, but I couldn't find my two uncles at the time, so I want to invite them to come up and join us. My Uncle Ron Gregory and my Uncle Garland Gregory and their families that came in from St. Louis. This is the real roots of the Gregory family right here. They helped to shape the man that we all know as Baba. So I want you all to come up here and join us for a moment. And I can't think of a more befitting person to start our march as we march from the Howard Theater to the Lincoln Theater than my Uncle Ron. People say how much he favors my father, and I said that's a strong Gregory gene. So my job's simple here, folks, is to get this moving on time, because I'm the one Gregory that likes to be punctual. Well, I think there's a couple other, but I would probably put myself at the top of that list. So what we're going to do, we're going to safely follow the procession, and we're going to move from the Howard Theater to the Lincoln Theater. But the other job that they gave me, which Joe just talked about, text coming in, I got a long list. I'm going to go through it quickly. First and foremost, absolutely we wouldn't be right here at this location if it wasn't for DC Mayor Muriel Bowser. We just want to say thank you. She pulled this together so quickly. The DC Commission on Arts and Humanity, thank you for putting DC Parks and Rec. I'm gonna miss some folks here, but Metropolitan Police Department. And as we move out, you'll hear the sounds of the Crush Funk Band, and this all got pulled together in about 3 days, so it's not as easy to get a band as some may think. The Howard Theater, we want to thank you. Howard University, the African American Leadership Family, Dr. Barbara Skinner, the Honorable Constance Newman. I know all these folks are out here somewhere, and everyone from last night. Just I don't know how many were there or watched it, but the City of Praise Family Ministries. That was just, it was for all of us Gregory's. I mean, Killer Mike just came up here and gave a eulogy. I've had like 15 eulogies at this point, and they just keep coming and keep walking up to us and giving them to us. So we love you, we appreciate you. Stay loving, stay lovable. And Rhonda, tell them where you want them to go. Where do you want them to go?
We're going to follow the band right there and march to the chili bowl.
Ben's Chili Bowl. So that's the Ali family. I want to thank Ben's Chili Bowl and the Ali family for all their love and support. Thomas Hart for giving us this location right here. The outpouring of love just came together so quickly, folks. So we'll line up. We'll start moving this procession along. Fort Lincoln Cemetery, Fort Lincoln Funeral Home. They've been absolutely phenomenal. As you know, this is never easy to bury a parent, and the love and support we've got from them, I can't say thank you enough, folks. Love you, appreciate you, thank you so much. And let's do two things my dad loved most was marching, obviously, you know, and band. So we've got the two of them, and we're going to do it right. Thank you, love you.
Thank you, man. I'm Shannon. I made it. I created it once I found out what happened. Thank you. Yeah, because I didn't know it was Steve Pico. I saw it on Twitter. What is your name? Which Gregory are you? Garland Gregory. And in the family, like, Ronald Gregory. I'm his husband. Okay, this is our daughter. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. And so how many Gregory brothers were there? How many four Gregory brothers? Okay. And Dick Gregory was the youngest, the oldest, the second? Okay. All right. Is there anything you want to share about Dick Gregory with the viewers? Anything you want to share about your brother? No? Bless you. Oh, they're coming this way.
wife. Going by, and now the casket.
Big brother.
Step right over here. Right, you'll be the first person behind. I promise you. Dr. May, I want you to walk with him as well, okay?
There goes the casket of Dick Gregory.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. I didn't have any big sisters like that. I had to go for myself. Me with the shortest
the right.
I'm sorry.
I know that's right.
favorite quote.
Oh, listen.
He has no allies. He goes the best.
Okay. Yes, he is. Amazing.
Black men, you have no allies. You are on your own.
Black man, you have no allies. So did you know Dick Gregory or your thoughts, reflections?
TV, inspiring, gave his life for the struggles, did everything he could to make things better.
All right.
It'll be a stroke.
Round
Okay, give your hand. Okay. Anywhere on this side. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Just the family.
Thank you.
Shoot me, sir. Shoot me. 1 second. Yep, I'll get yours. Just family. Any more family, please? This way.
Do you see any of the others?
I'm getting them right now. Yep.
Okay.
All Gregory family this way, please. All Gregory family this way.
Family over here, please. Everyone else stay on that side.
All Gregory family this way.
First time I had my horn in my hand in 3 years. Sounded good, man. It didn't sound like there was any.
The Gregory family.
All Gregory family this way.
The Gregory family we need up here.
They're coming right over here, right over here.
And the Gregory family on this side and press on this side. Everyone else stay on that side. You'll see why in a minute. Press on this side.
So the press all the way over. And
I only need family on this side.
Excuse me.
Solid.
Hey!
I thought you were a pound. I looked at you, man. He down there. Hang on. Oh my.
Family on this side.
Excuse me.
We're making that happen. Photographers on this side. Press on this side. Get it.
Just want the Gregory family
Two
here.
back. St. Louis, come on over here. Where's St. Louis at? Any more family members?
That's the Gregory family.
All right. Ma'am, if you're not pressed.
All right. I want press in the front. Everyone else just step back for a minute.
You want to line back some more? All right, I just need you guys to back up just a little bit more, please. Thank you so much. Okay, please, back up, please. Thank you so much. The main photographer is right here. You need to be at this where this photographer is. Please. I asked you nicely, please. Please back up. Please back up. Please back up. Please back up. Thank you so much. Please. I promise you. Thank you so much. Please back up.
3 steps back.
Please.
3 steps back.
We can move back.
You gotta go down.
Try to
Take a knee.
Okay, where are my news crews?
Right here.
Okay, you got a good shot?
News crew.
Just move over here.
If the stills can take a knee, it'll help.
So
take a knee. That's my knee.
all family, do 3 things.
Everybody say Roy Lewis.
Right, and then to the left. All family, look straight.
Sir, what do you need, sir? Because you're the main photographer.
Everybody look straight.
Straight ahead.
Straight ahead.
Where? Here?
Take a knee.
All right, I need you all the way down. All the way down. All the way down. What else? That good?
Everybody look forward. Just straight. Everybody look to your right, that way. Now everyone look to your left here. To these photographers here.
I'm gonna get it real quick. Also center. Center.
Back to the center. Back to the center. Did you get it, sir? Get it? Get it? No, hold on.
All right, hold on. I need my. You need to come up.
You can't get too close. You can't get too close. You got it?
Hey, Solomon.
Can he use that letter?
Hey, yeah. Hey, Olu, can I get the photographer right there on the ladder for me, please? Right next to you. Right next to you. No. I need this gentleman right there. Thank you.
Look to this gentleman here on the left. Look to the gentleman on the left. No, in your eyes.
I'm not going to
Your head's in the way.
Good, right?
Your head's in the way.
Everybody right here. On 3, on 3. Up top. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Thank you, everybody.
So we're at Ben's Chili Bowl, and there's a mural of Dick Gregory over here somewhere.
Do you work for the media?
Periscope. Myself media.
Oh.
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
I do.
Go ahead.
When you go, yeah.
Family, to the ball. Yep.
Hey, come on now.
Hey. Well, you need to see people standing here.
Spirit of One Enterprise.
Spirit of One.
I'm gonna tell his wife. I'm gonna tell him. Come back and beat somebody.
Yeah. Once the family goes, we can start breaking out something here. No, they're going to break out.
Where is, okay, wait a minute. Gregory. Hey, brother.
So the family is moving to the mural of Dick Gregory now.
Anybody have a lighter? Anybody have a lighter?
I need to open the alley up because they're going to bring the cars.
Anybody have a lighter?
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Anybody have a lighter? Anybody have a lighter? Here you go.
Lighter, here, Greg.
Thanks.
My brother Ron.
That's right.
Lighting candles in his memory. Ben's Chili Bowl on U Street in Washington, D.C. That's where the mural is located, in the alley on the side.
Like my dad.
Dick Gregory's family.
Just for the photographs, I'm going to keep moving. Except for the folks on the wall taking photos. We'll come back and take pictures here, but the brother has to get out of here.
Keep moving.
Watch your step to the right. Watch your step to the right.
Keep moving.
Come on, y'all. It ain't hard. Come on.
Keep moving.
Keep moving.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, the car is coming down the alley past the mural now. The flower casket is first.
Trust me, we're gonna get you out of money shot. That's when we pull them up here, brother. I got you. We're gonna get them for you. We're gonna get you shot. Once we get the car, we're good. Back up, please, so we can get the herd. Back up, please.
It's over the picture, right? But it's over the picture.
I got you. I'm here too, baby. That's why I'm here. All right, I'm here too. Guys, we're gonna have you pushed back. Everyone back behind the line there for me, guys. Man, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna get you the money. We're gonna stop the herd under the picture, but we need to get the first car up.
Come on, keep moving. Let the hearse out. Let the hearse out.
That's what we do. All right. 1 second. 1 second, we're gonna get you in. Wait.
The flower car is passing by Dick Gregory's flower car. There's his son Christian.
Hey.
From the camera angles,
Come on.
okay. Hey, Raymond, little. Yeah.
Your mama wants you. You know, he said your mama wants you.
Which guy in the salt and pepper here? There are a lot of people with salt and pepper hair out here. I'm not really sure which one you're talking about.
Wait a minute. You're gonna get your. I told you you're gonna get your shot, man. Right. Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Hey, Gregory.
Come on up, man. Come on up.
We found all y'all.
I don't want that. I want to hurt. Just let you know. That's why
right. Hey, oh, well, we not going to see what happens? You guys keep it
Wait, don't let you get your shot and step to the side.
Just a sibling. Okay.
All right,
everyone. Hold on. Just look straight.
Cameron, did your way, fellas? Get your shots, guys. Then we're going to move out.
Then step out so other people can get them. Get your shots. Everybody step out. Come on.
That's it right there. All right.
Okay. Everybody look. Center. Okay, step out, please, if you get your shots.
Everybody right here one time. Everybody right here one time. Right here one time. 1, 2, and 3. Right here one time. Everybody right here. Good sir. Good sir.
Hold on.
On 3. 1, 2, and 3.
Just got one more set of photographers. Okay, step out, the ones who just got it. Please step out.
Have you step out, baby. Okay, you're good. I got you. Gentlemen, you got what you need? Take your shot. Let's take your shot and go then. No, take your shot and go, baby.
Bring it up. You got it the whole time. You have to leave. Okay, step out. You got Daddy.
Hold on, sir. Don't take yet.
Step out.
We're going to get you the second. All right? Let him go. Let him go. Come on this way. And we're going to get you back in the line. We're going to get him first, and then you're going to go. All right? There you go.
It's the last one.
All right. You're going to take him. I got to get you out, baby. All right. Let's go. Got him. I got him. 1 second. You out. Then we got to go to the ladder. All right? That's it. Up here. Give me one. Give me a break. Give me a break. You done, Solomon? All right, let's go.
Everyone, let's go this way so we can clear this street. All right. Yeah, good. Very good. Thank you.
Hey.
This way, Klaus. Hey, Mark, what's up?
I don't think so, though.
Thank you, brother. We're all going to head to the Marriott Marquee. That's it.
Lynn, we're going to get the cars. We're going to start moving the cars, guys. We're going to start moving the cars. Watch your back.
That's Ayana, Gregory. Okay, there we go.
Start moving, please.
It's recorded. It's been out for a while. It's called Valid for My Father. Okay, all right. Yeah, but you can get them online. This is called Valid for My Father. Okay.
Hey, sir, Ayana, I have it.
Yep, you're good.
Valid first.
Okay, watch it. All right. You're clear. You're clear.
And she came what?
So most of them are just taking the whole thing coming down this way.
Okay, this is the funeral part of the casket. Ayana Gregory is a singing star, the daughter of Dick Gregory, one of his children, one of his 10 children. Yes, Dick Gregory will definitely be missed. And there goes his body. with the band.
So Katrina, we'll see you at the cemetery.
Dick Gregory's son?
Yeah. Yeah, so folks will leave probably there around 1 heading there. So about an hour.
Okay, so we're just meeting up first.
Yeah, because the other family's there. By if you go on your
snap this. I don't have any hands.
Can you snap this? No.
What am I pushing?
Yeah, it's on Bladensburg.
Be there by 1:30.
Yeah, you have the address. 34 or whatever. Yeah, I got whatever. Yeah, that's all I need.
Just 1 minute. Nancy just snapped that. This great man. Okay, right. No, the button right here. The black button. No,
Sorry.
Come up further. Right here.
This one?
Yeah. Okay.
This
Good job.
one?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay, let me know. Sorry. No, nothing about that kind of camera. I got the shot. Okay, as long as I got the shot. Can you show me a shot of the book?
Huh?
Can you show me a shot of the book? Is this his latest book?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what's your name?
Kevin Williams.
Kevin Williams?
I'm trying to get a signature.
Oh, well, go ahead.
Okay,
thank you.
You know the sister's name, right?
Who, Ayanna Gregory?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm trying to find a shade.
Find the shade.
Okay, right here, last shot.
It's a picture happening in front of you. There we go.
Okay, right here.
Last one, you guys. Everyone get their photo.
I don't get that enough. Can you get one more? Gregory.
Everyone good? Everyone's good? Y'all, thank you so much. Let's do one more.
It's a good thing we all stand about the same height.
Okay. One more.
Y'all gotta give me life for that. I found that picture. Everybody wants to take that picture. See how that works? See how that works? See how that works? I found that picture. I said, that's Dick right there. Now everybody's taking a picture.
I'm gonna grab. Ladies, stay right here for me. Hi, can I
filmed that picture. Everybody's coming right over here. That's good. Sorry.
This is Nick Canon.
This is Daddy out here. Oh, that's Nick. Okay. Yeah. This gentleman. Okay. No, you. I got it. Yep. Can you get one? Thanks, Dick. Nick, right here, bro. Nick. Wall. Now everybody knows. I want to get one of. She wants one picture really quick. Actually, you know what? I need Christian. Hold on. Hey, Christian. You want it? Okay.
Everyone, I need you all to move back. Everyone wants the photo, and I'll make sure you get it. I just need you to move back and be courteous, please.
Okay.
Everyone, guys, go back up. Back up. I know you want the photo. I want to make sure you get it. Please back up. Sir, let me teach you to back up. I know. Move up a little bit. A little bit. Everybody back up.
Can I get you guys up to the center?
Everyone back. Okay. Everyone with the photo, look to your right. Now to your center.
Right here, please.
Now to your left. Now back to center.
Excuse me, man. I need my head.
Hey, can I get you guys to look up here?
Miss Solomon, yellow camera, on top. Watch your hand, watch your hand. You're good, okay. Are we good? What are we doing?
I need you, man. Can I get a picture with some of you? Can you pull your bayonet?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. And people are still over here with the Canon.
What up, building.
Wild and out. That's what she would know.
Tyra Banks got it now.
Tanya,
That's big chili bowl for you.
It is an awesome display of love. So many people came out.
Have to call Kennedy.
Clear path, please. Everyone, I need you to step back. Right now, let me be here. Step back.
He would tell you how to get that picture right. Okay, there you go. Now you got a sharp look.
And what was the secret to that, sir?
Clean the lens. You have to keep the oil from your fingers and hands off of it. Because when you see those pictures posted online, they're all foggy and out of focus. It's because people got their grease on there. You know, you can't eat that chicken and handle your phone.
thank you.
There you go, man. See, so when you post your pictures, everybody be saying how great they are.
Ronald,
There you go. There you go.
okay.
Oh, yeah. Back a little bit. Get the photographers, we're going to set up a shot for you, so I need you to step back just a little bit, please.
Where would you want me?
Right in the middle. We're going to be in the middle. Oh, let's move down the wall so everyone's on the brick.
I need all photographers to step back. Step back.
Give that back, please. Take yours too. Okay.
Just family in
Just
this
family.
photo.
Is everyone? Looks good, great.
All right, so.
All right,
what we're going to do, we're going to look forward.
Mark, I need you to move out of the way. Everyone look centered who's in the photo.
Right here. This way, please.
Still centered.
Right.
Now look to your right. Good.
One more to the center, guys.
Okay, one more to
right
the center.
This gentleman there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this way, please. Guy in the blue. Can I get you this way? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Okay, last shot right here.
And to the left.
And one to your left this way.
All right, thank you guys
Everyone
so much.
just stay back.
If you guys
so
just
they
give
can
them
talk.
space so they can talk. He's here for the family, as is everyone else. Let them just have their moment, please. Thank you. Give back water. There you are. Both hydrates. There you go.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. It's the area across the convention center. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You guys ready? Yeah. Paul.
ask about that shirt. When you wear that shirt, make sure that bottom word is always
it's present.
Yes.
Oh, I just
Yes, it did. It went to the cemetery. Thank you for commentating.
You want to get it going to a cemetery? Give it. Let's go in for this crowd while they're still taking pictures.
Anyone know who his sons, who his kids are? Who would talk? Hi, I'm Janice with World Black History on Periscope, and I just wanted to ask you to share a few words with the viewers. It's going global around the world. And so spell your name.
Sure. Actually, I've just got to get with my family, unfortunately.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Don't forget to pour your libations to Dick Gregory.
Is that a selfie
It's a tripod. It's a tripod, and you can use it as a selfie stick.
So you can take pictures like you have a control on it,
I do have a sonic shutter, so you can buy a sonic shutter to do that with it as well. Yes, you're welcome.
We're supposed to be at the thing at 2.
You're welcome. Hi, how are you doing?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right, folks.
Okay. Well, let's see. Go back down here.
I'm going to tell you something.
It's more of the Gregory family. Sorry, I can't keep comments here. Nick Canon is taking photos with people.
Everyone take 2 steps back.
Dick Gregory, who is in the mural on the wall to the left, he died on August 19th, and yesterday they had his funeral service. And today, this is the Parade of Life or procession. It started at the Howard Theater. He was a comedian. He would have performed there. He performed there like 20 times. And he's on the mural at Ben's Chili Bowl. And this is Nick Cannon from Wild and Out. Yeah.
Nick Cannon is a TV host, TV star from Wild and Out. He's in the black turban.
Solomon?
You know! You know!
One more time. Wait.
You know!
Yeah, sit down. All right. Sean, let's go.
Thank you guys for joining. Please share this out. Yes, Howard University. Those were Howard University students with Nick Cannon. And so this is Dick Gregory's mural behind me. You're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So if you're watching the replay, please share. You're welcome. I so appreciate you guys for joining and for sharing and hearting. Oh, you're welcome, guys. You're welcome. And yeah, so make sure that other people see it. And I'm going to sign off now.
Oh, yeah. We're going to join up.
Oh, he was also an HU student. I figured that was probably what it was. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So I can't see who everybody's on here. Okay. And so, ciao, guys. You're welcome. Bye. Thank you. Bye. Oh, no, you're fine. You're not in the shot. One more what? Oh, I should do more? Okay, I will. Bye.